Now, this is another bridge that, much like the Story Bridge, people living at Kangaroo Point have been wanting one of these pretty much since the city was settled. It will be finished, hopefully, by probably September, October this year. I can't wait. It's the renders. I do have a council render as the last slide here, but the renders on this show an absolutely stunning structure. The concern that most photographers and probably most locals had when they first announced a bridge at Kangaroo Point was that, oh, well, there goes the views. Because the views from the cliff, they're like the Story Bridge. From the top of the cliffs at Kangaroo Point, the views across to the city are just unmatched anywhere else in the country. You've got this river, which is not too wide, not too narrow, a beautiful skyline, just everything works together, taking photos from that view. And the fact that they've decided to go for a cable-stayed bridge with a single central mast is magic. It means that you won't lose the views. And from what I've seen from my drone photos so far, it's not that one, that's a construction one. It's very much going to add to the beauty of the city as seen from Kangaroo Point. This photo here was taken, this is about 2 months ago. So since then, the deck has actually been almost completed. There are only 4 cables left to attach to the top of the mast and one very small, it's around about 10 metres long deck span that will hopefully get lifted into position this Monday. The decking was going to be finished last week, but unfortunately they had a worksite incident where someone was injured. I don't have any further details, but they did put a halt to all proceedings until they could work out that the site was still safe to continue. Probably the most interesting thing during the construction phase of this bridge is the size of that crane. It's not the tallest, it's not the biggest, but it's the largest capacity lift river-based crane in the world. Apparently this thing can lift something like 480 tonne. Fortunately, they haven't had anything quite that heavy to lift, but they came close with the I think it was the central part of the main mast. The biggest benefit that the Kangaroo Point Bridge brings to the city isn't just for the locals who live over at Kangaroo Point and work in the city. If they are currently walking to work, this actually cuts down their travel time walking like probably a good 20 minutes. So they get to have a sleep in once the bridge opens. I'm of the other mind. Once the bridge opens, I think my first crossing, after the initial opening crossing, will probably take me 2 to 3 hours. I'll be stopping every step of the way to take in the views. The views that will be possible from this bridge up and downstream in the city, at the moment, the only way to get those views is to either catch a ferry or to own a drone. Whereas, given where this bridge is, it's overlooking the city reach and the Petrie reach of the river, which, to my way of thinking, are the most beautiful views of the city across the river. But come the Olympic Games, if we ever get there, it's going to mean that people who are visiting the city have much easier access, much quicker access to the beautiful views of Kangaroo Point, for the beautiful views from underneath the Story Bridge at Captainburg Park, without all that tedious climbing of stairs or steep roads. So yeah, it's going to make a big difference for those who enjoy the city on foot. It's going to make a big difference for the locals who have got so much easier access back into the city. Now, the final slide I have for you today is the council's render, which will show you how elegant this bridge really is. it just matches. It fits in with the cityscape of this part of the city. It doesn't look it, but that mast is actually taller than the Story Bridge. It's a massive construction. You can see on the left-hand side, bottom left, there's actually two dining areas there. There's a cafe on the city landing on the corner of Alice and Edward Streets, which will just offer standard cafe fare, coffees, snacks. The actual restaurant that you can see here has been cleverly designed. It's almost like it's up on stilts. It sits above the bridge decking itself, and that will be, they're calling it, I've forgotten now, Bombora, which is an Aboriginal word meaning the place of waves or something along those lines. And it will feature predominantly Queensland produce. So they're going to be sourcing locally. And I can't wait to sit on the deck there and have a beer with my mates. So this one's just a very quick 1-minute video just to show some of the views that I enjoy of the city bridges.
As we walked on by, she could see from my face that I was flying high, and I don't think that I'll see her again, but we shared a moment that will last till the end. You're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful.
Thank you.